impurities prevent Ananda. So this is how we come to know, oh, there is a defect. So as we evolve, the awareness increases. With that awareness, you are able to see the defect, imperfection. Then when you see the imperfection, you can't stand imperfection. Why you can't stand imperfection? Because perfection is your nature. Why do we hate imperfection? We hate imperfection because perfection is our nature. So then what we do? We start working against it to remove it. That is called a spiritual sadhana. And the more we try to remove this impurity, the more and more the bliss manifests itself. For every effort there is a reward. What is the reward of God? Happiness, bliss, fulfillment. Just like how they train the dog. How do they train the dog? Bunty, sit down. The fellow sits. One biscuit. Bunty is happy. And Bunty has understood what I have done is right. So for this particular sound I have to do this. If there is no biscuit, then I have misunderstood the instruction. Correct? That biscuit of joy. In the same way, Bhagavan also trains us. When we are walking the path of dharma, righteousness, when we are doing what pleases him, then one biscuit of bliss. Suddenly a joy manifests when that wrong thinking is replaced by right thinking. There is a manifestation of bliss. Then you know, yes, this is the way. Every time I deviate from that right path, there is absence of that bliss. Then I know, I am going the wrong way. This is how he helps us in Uddharana. Okay, what is the proof that avasadhanam is happening? Guilt. Once you have reached a higher state, once you have started experiencing a higher bliss, after that, any fall is pain. As long as I am in the 10 unit bliss state, I don't crave for 100 units. Because that's all what I know, 10 units. But once I have tasted a 100 unit state, after that, 50 units, is it joy or pain? It is pain. For the 10 unit fellow, 50 unit is bliss. But for a 100 unit fellow, 50 unit is pain. It is not happiness. Avasadhanam, whenever we fall, whatever level we have reached, when we behave contrary to it, not up to the mark, then what comes is guilt. Somewhere we have compromised with a higher value. Therefore the mind is disturbed. Absence of peace. Then we know, I have made a mistake. So that guilt again inspires us to correct ourselves. So as we go on and on and on in this path, slowly the mind becomes very, very, very fine, pure. Then you have to be very alert because there's a great amount of joy you are experiencing. And there is a price to be paid for experiencing that joy. And what is the price? Alertness. To be alert. The moment negative thought comes, that bliss will go away. So alertness at the thought level. Not at the action level, speech level. They all come very late. At the thought level itself. The moment the negative thoughts come, you will find that the bliss content comes down. Immediately you become aware. Correct yourself. So as I said, so what is the way? Observe, detect, eliminate, substitute, strengthen. This is the way. Now and then observe your mind. Find out the contents of the mind. What is the mind doing? What is the mind thinking? Is everything fine? Detect all these negative thought channels. Eliminate these negative thoughts. Replace it with positive thoughts, right thinking. Once thoughts are taken care, everything else is taken care. If thinking is right, speaking will be right, actions will be right, all your doings will be right, everything is fine. The law with respect to thought is, earlier the detection, easier the correction. This is the law. In fact, this law is true everywhere. Earlier the detection, easier the correction. Earlier you are able to detect the negative thought, easily you can correct it. Before it gains momentum, eliminate it. In nature, that is a law. A huge peepal tree is growing right on the roof of your house. Small plant. What do you do? Immediately remove it. But once it gains root, many times people in US, after so many years they go to India and there is a seed which has grown and it has completely devoured the house. You know that people tree has that. Then you can't do anything. But nipping it in the bud, in the same way at the mind level also. So if you have to nip the negative thoughts in the bud, you have to be a watchman. Who is a watchman? What is he watching? Watching his mind. One part of the attention is upon the mind. Entire mind is not given to the world. You have to handle situations in the world, fine. One part of the mind is handling the situation, but another part is paying attention to the contents of the mind. In spirituality, you have to become a watchman. Not watching what others are doing, but watching what your mind is doing. That is called as alertness. Don't allow any Tom, Dick and Harry to enter into the sanctum sanctorum of your mind. That is sanctum sanctorum. Garbhagriha it is. Watchman. Then, yes, that quality mind becomes your friend. Pure mind becomes your friend. That sattvic mind becomes your friend. But suppose no attention is paid to the quality of the mind, then that very same mind becomes our enemy. Now, the next verse is all about how avasadhanam happens. So, verse number 2 is all about avasadhanam. Verse number 3 is all about uddharanam. So, first we must know how we pollute the mind, make our mind our own enemy. How does that happen? What are the mistakes that we do, which we should not do? So let us chant the next verse together. Karmany-evādhikāras
phaleṣhu kadāchana
ma karma karma-phala-hetur bhūh ma te saṅgo stvakarmaṇi. Karmany-evādhikāras. Te adhikaraha, your right is in karmani-eva, in only action. You have the right only to perform action. Ma phaleṣhu, not upon the results. You don't have any right upon the results. You have right only upon action. So what action are we talking of here? We are talking of swadharma, not every action. All actions in the world is not my rightful action. Only my swadharma is my rightful action. Not any person can enter into the operation theatre and do surgery. Who has the right? A professional surgeon, isn't it? There is a right for every action. Not everybody can go to the borders and fight the war. Only the soldier has the right to fight the war. A person may be a citizen of the country, but to have adhikara in certain, you have to be a qualified person. In every field, there is a qualification, there is an adhikara. So here, when karma is said, it is understood, it is swadharma karma. In that field, in your chosen profession, Karmany-evādhikāras, you have right only to perform your action, never upon the results. You don't have the right to expect or insist upon the result. Let us use this term, insistence. Expectation is natural. When you're doing something, you expect some results. Now, why we don't have the right to insist upon the results? We don't have the right because results come because of so many factors. Only one factor I know, my work, my action. That also I don't know properly, but let us assume that to simplify the discussion. My action. You know why action itself is complicated? Number one, for any action, there is something called intention behind action. That also comes into karma theory. With what intention I did that act? With what intensity of intention I did that act? So many things are there. So really speaking, our own action we don't know. But for the time being, let us assume we know. So only one factor is known to us, that is our action. But as far as the results are concerned, so many factors come together. For example, a simple, say, football match. I am a football player. I play my game. The only thing which I know is my game. But there are other players, 11 the other side, 10 this side, 21 players are there. I don't know anything about them. So how can I decide that I must win the game? So who alone can decide with respect to results? The one who knows. And who is that? The Lord. Omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent Bhagavan cannot decide results. Not the individual. Alpajna, alpashaktiman, Jivatma cannot decide. So insisting upon the result itself is wrong. I don't have any right to insist upon the results. Performance of action, that ability is given to me? Yes, you can perform action. Okay, now Bhagavan tells two things. So this is with respect to the field of action. The two don'ts in life with respect to action. Ma means don't. Ma doesn't mean mother here, okay? Ma. Ma karma-phala-hetur. And second ma is what? Mate saṅgah astu akarmani. Akarma saṅgah ma bhūt. Karma-phala-hetur ma bhūt. Two mas, two don'ts. First one, akarmani saṅgah. Attachment, saṅgah, to akarmani, to inaction. Attachment to inaction. May you don't do this. Giving up action. Attachment to inaction means what? Giving up action. This is the first commandment which may lead to avasadhanam, fall. The second commandment. So first one, you must do your duty. That is the meaning. Put it in a positive way. Never refrain from your duties. You must perform your duty. First one. What is the second one? Even when you are performing the duty, ma karma-phala-hetur. May you not perform your duty for the sake of karma-phala, for the sake of results. Two instructions. Number one, don't refrain from performing your duties. Number two, even while performing the duties, don't do it insisting upon the results. What will happen if you do this way? Avasadhanam is guaranteed. Two don'ts. So now let us discuss the first one. First one is Mate saṅgah astu akarmani. Whatever duties you have, don't refrain from it, do it. Now, what are the possible reasons why there is a duty and I am not doing it? What are the possible reasons? I know that it should be done. I know that it is my swadharma karma. I must do it. Even then, I am not doing it. What could be the possible reasons? Reason number one, it can be out of laziness, inertia. Newton's first law. A motionless object tends to remain motionless. I know that this is to be done, but there is no desire to do it. It is not lack of clarity, it is lack of desire, lack of interest. Tamas. So many things are there. I know early morning getting up is good, but I am not able to get up. I know every day I should do some yoga, pranayama, jogging, gym, whatever. But no mood. I know prayer should be done. I know meditation should be done. I know study of scripture is necessary. I know. So, that is called as tamas. Mate saṅgah astu akarmani. So, one reason is laziness. Second reason, there is something I should do, but I am not doing it. What could be the second reason? Maybe the fear of ridicule, criticism. What will others think of me? Especially with children you find this. The child wants to sing, but there is a fear, stage fear. The child wants to participate. Why child? Even the elders also. Stage fear is always there. So many people are staring at you. You forget everything, whatever the speech you have prepared. When the mind becomes tensed, it becomes inefficient. Will the child remain quiet? Child has to remain quiet. So this is another reason, fear. What if I make a mistake on the stage and then others make fun of me, ridicule me? So, though I like to do, but then I don't do, fearing all this. Another reason is fear of failure. Of course, they all come in the same category. Business is in my blood, but I'm scared. After investment, will I fail? So whatever money I have invested, that also I will lose. Sort of fear of failure. Fear of loss of life, that is also there. So I was listening to one, interview of one IPS officer, police officer. So he was posted in some place and the whole area was invested by these gundas. Gundagiri was happening there. So he was posted there. So after a few days he receives a call from the local gang leader. Sir, I heard that you have come here, newly posted. All the other officers have been cooperating with us. So therefore, I will tell you the mantra of win-win situation. Win-win. You also win, I also win. What you have to do? Just keep quiet. Akarmani saṅgo bhūh. Don't do anything. That's all what you need to do. Everything we will do. Whatever has to be done, we will do. Your only job is don't do anything. Just close your eyes. Whatever we get, a portion is anyway, it is yours. A percentage of whatever we get will be given to you. That way, win situation for you. Win situation for us because police is not interfering. But then, if you choose the other option, sir, you have a family, you have a wife, you have 2 little children, they have to go to school. If you interfere with whatever we are doing, then we will have to do things which will be painful for you. Choice is yours. So he was telling, that officer was telling, this is the way he got the call. Now what should that officer do? If he acts against these gundas, they will retaliate. Then that becomes a classic case of inaction. As a police, you are given the salary, you are given the training, everything is given to fight these wounds. But then you are not doing anything. Fear of loss of life. Then what happens? Avasadhanam has to happen. I am supposed to do certain things and I am not doing it. Definitely there will be guilt. You can't come out of that guilt. How much ever meditation you do, okay, be peaceful, mind, be quiet, nothing is going to work. Because that guilt, that conscience brick will say, what are you doing? You are taking money from the government, not doing anything. At all levels that person will suffer. Adhyatmika level, there is a guilt. Adi bhautika level, nobody will respect that person. From the society, he never gets a respect because he is not doing what he is supposed to do. And of course, Adi Devika level, he is incurring sin. It is called sin of omission. There are two types of sins, sin of omission and sin of commission. When you do what you are not supposed to do, then that is called a sin of commission. When you are not doing what you are supposed to do, that is called as it doesn't work. You have to sit there. Sin of omission and sin of commission. So then, in all such situations, you will have to do what you are supposed to do. Otherwise, it's a sin. It will lead to avasadhana. There is something which is right, but I don't like it, therefore I am not doing it. It is a sin. These are all the possible reasons. Another possible reason is because of attachment. You are so attached to somebody that that attachment comes in the way of your duty. This army case itself. I am so attached to my family members. Now the soldier says, I will not go for war. Because if I die, who will look after my family? So therefore, I will remain at home. In fact, Arjuna was having that problem. He says, I will not fight the war because they are all my near and dear ones. Attachment. It's a sin. Bhagavan also gives that win-win situation. Arjuna, hato va prapsasi swargam, jitva va bhokshase mahim. What is good for you is fighting